Okay, folks. I think we should start. People will join in. So a very warm welcome to all. I thank everyone for your time on the weekend to join us on the occasion of 67th Dhamma Chakra Pravartan Din. First of all, I would like to give a brief introduction about Ambedkar Reading Circle. Ambedkar Reading Circle Bangalore is an anti-caste collective initiative started this year in April 2023. We started with Baba Sahib's annihilation of caste, and after that, every month we conduct once a month a reading circle and other anti-caste programs through poetries and talks and panels. Um, so, with this brief, I will invite Prashant, who is an Ambedkarite Buddhist and a queer person with disability. He is a lawyer, researcher, writer, addressing socio-political issues from an Ambedkarite lens. So, Prashant, all overs to you. Please uh, start the session.
Okay, am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are audible.
Okay.
I'll also request everyone to keep their microphone on mute. We will take the questions in the end. This discussion will be run along 30 to 40 minutes. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Abhijit. Uh, Abhijit introduced myself. Done with that. Okay. Jai Bhim to everyone who joined on this weekend in the evening, Saturday evening. So thank you so much for joining us. Uh, on this day in 1956, Dr. Ambedkar, with his around 6 lakh followers, embraced Buddhism, discarded Hinduism, uh, and we are celebrating that 14th October. Uh, Let me start by reciting a poem uh, written by Vaman Dada Kardak. Vaman Dada Kardak is a famous anti-caste Ambedkarite Buddhist poet. Uh, and Without further ado, let me read out his one of a very famous poem. In Marathi, it is उघडलाच नाही काळ्या रामाचा दरवाजा. So in let me, I have translated this poem from Marathi to English, and Dr. Prashant Bhaware has edited this poem. So let me directly jump onto the translated poem of Vaman Dada Kardak. Though he fell on the banks of a Goda. Let me briefly also tell that Goda signifies the river Godavari, which flows through Nashik district. And the Kalaram, the word Kalaram will indicate the Kalaram temple, where Baba Sahib has led the temple entry movement, right? So Kalaram is a temple, Goda is the river, name of a river, Godavari. Though he fell on the banks of a Goda, my fighter kept fighting. The doors of Kalaram never opened. The years here never opened. The revolution that we needed never happened. Even though at the front was the king of 9 crores, the door of a Kalaram never opened. Offer humans water to drink. The voice of a Bhima echoed everywhere. Chaudhar Tank's history was still fresh. The doors of Kalaram never opened. Open the door, Rama, open the door now. Chokhamela of a Pandhari have come to your town. My Bhima kept asking for the opportunity to darshan. The doors of Kalaram never opened. Ponds were prohibited, rivers were prohibited. For all generations of these wicked ones were blind. Such cruels were the Sri Ram's armies. The doors of Kalaram never opened. Show your Ram, show the Ram. Let Vamana have a little taste of him. Pujari said, go away, rascals, go away. The door of a Kalaram never opened. Uh, okay. So let me start my talk by first giving you the brief structure of my talk, so that it will be easy for everyone to expect what is coming, and expect and know the topics in advance a little. Let me first shift the document. Okay, so I have divided this talk in three parts. First part, I'm going to overview the past. I'm going to overview the past, like uh, from where Dr. Ambedkar initiated the thinking about conversion, where from where he formulated uh, his thoughts on conversion, what was the journey of his thoughts, and how he uh, after maybe 30 years, he then took a direct act of conversion, right? So I will try to overview that. I will also try to overview the journey of this community who converted to Buddhism, right? So what impact uh, this mass conversion have on the society, on this particular community? What are the socio-economic changes? What are the educational, cultural, what are the psychological, intellectual changes that have occurred in this community particularly, and in general the overall society, right? So how the society is perceiving this mass conversion. So I will try to touch these questions briefly, because this part separately is a very lengthy. I will just try to touch it briefly. My second part will be uh, complicating the present. Uh, I mean by that is I want to raise what are the issues that we are facing as a Ambedkarite Buddhist community, and in general scheduled caste, and in general Dalit community as of now in India. What are the constitutional challenges? What are the policy? What are the governmental implementation challenges? And socio-economic issues? Very briefly, I will try to complicate the present. That will be my second part. My last part and third part will be imagining Prabuddha Bharat. So Prabuddha Bharat is egalitarian and very much uh, uh, egalitarian philosophy and egalitarian imagination, if one can say, of imagining a whole India as a enlightened India, where there will be no caste, there will be fraternity in the community, there will be equality and liberty to everyone. Uh, so that ideal, that egalitarian society, I will try to imagine. I will try to uh, imagine Prabuddha Bharat. So in the last part. So let me directly dive into my first part, which is overviewing the past. Uh, as many of must know that Dr. Ambedkar presented his thesis named as Caste in India, its Mechanism and Genesis, right, in Columbia University, where he try to uh, try to analyze caste, its genesis, and how it is formulated in Indian society. He found out that the superimposition of endogamy uh, over exogamy is the cause of creation of a caste. That's what he presented in his thesis. So this exclusive endogamy, he blamed for the creation of a caste, and then it trickled down from Brahmins to the other lower caste. Everyone copied Brahmins, so the Brahmins was the first who essentially practiced endogamy, exclusive endogamy, and composed class, enclosed class, right? So then every lower caste tries to copy upper caste, so everyone copied that, and that's how caste in India, Dr. Ambedkar formulated in in 20s, in 1924 to be precise, in Solapur district, where Dr. Ambedkar was giving a speech where he first time touched the topic of conversion. He first time try to analyze conversion as the solution to escape untouchability. There were other topics like separate land, name change, and the change of a religion. Directly means conversion, right? So he tried to analyze and try to overview the three possibilities. So in 1924, first time Dr. Ambedkar tried to touch the topic of conversion publicly. But he also goes on to say whether our I will quote here him. I will quote him. Whether our people should convert or not is a difficult to tell as of now. So it's year 1924. He is not very sure if that's what he will do. That's what he will do, or that's what he will preach. That what he will advocate for the community. So in 1924, he was not. He was still in the process. He was just considering whether should conversion will bring solution to escape untouchability. So he says as of now, it is very difficult to say if we should convert or not. And then as we all know, Mahad Satyagraha happens. Mahad is a pond, public pond in a Nashik district. Mahad is a place, a small place in Nashik district, where untouchable community were not allowed to drink water, or were not allowed to fetch water from that pond. Dr. Ambedkar led movement there. It's very famous Mahad Satyagraha, and try to uh, get untouchables access to the public pond. Then after he started. I'm just touching, and I will let you know why I'm touching this. He started then Bahishkrut Bharat. Bahishkrut Bharat was fortnightly, where he used to publish his articles. The that time, first time he started articulating uh, public ideology, public perspective. He tried to form a perspective of a community, try to undertake various contemporary issues of Congress, of all other of rights of the Dalits, right? So he first time addressed all those issues one by one in Bahishkrut Bharat. Under the section of current affairs, there was a separate section under the name of a current affairs, where Dr. Ambedkar also tried to do journalism, and he did a journalism. He tried to document instances of untouchability, instances of caste discrimination, instances of caste atrocities. And there was also one instance where I read in Bahishkrut Bharat. I tried to find, could not, where he is also trying to, where he is documenting that one person converts to Christianity, but the society around that locality does not accept him. He gets targeted, so then he again convert back to the Hinduism, right? So he is documenting in that Bahishkrut Bharat. Then he goes to London for a roundtable conference. He wins separate electorate for the untouchables. He loses separate back happens, as we all know. Till then, Dr. Ambedkar very frustrated. Whatever rights he could win through constitutional means was snatched away, were diluted because of a Congress and a Gandhi. Uh, he then starts temple entry movement. Uh, the one poem that I recited in the beginning is written on that theme of a temple entry movement, where Baba Sahib led temple entry movement for Kalaram temple. He also came to Amravati, which is very near to my hometown. There is a very famous Amba Devi temple, which was not open for the scheduled caste, open for the untouchables. So Dr. Ambedkar also came to Amravati, gave a very profound speech. If anyone can read that, you should find that. Uh, and he advocated for temple entry and all that. And through all these attempts of Mahad Satyagraha, then Bahishkrut Bharat, then Roundtable Conference, and then Temple Entry Movement, what he is primarily trying is to uh, create a change of heart in the Hindus, like to make Hindus realize that this untouchability is not good for anyone. as a population, as a society, this untouchability is a sin. This untouchability is not a very ideal way to live. And a person discriminating against a person based on superstitious religious belief of a purity and pollution is very sick, is like a disease, Dr. Ambedkar says. So even though he is getting failure, he is getting defeated one after another. The atrocities were rising. He lost the separate electorate and only could get the collective electorate or something like that they call. So, and temple entry movement fails. Mahat Satyagraha he achieves, but at what cost? He has to go to court, he has to fight, he has to all that, right? So he sees no progress in the caste Hindus. He uses the word caste Hindus. So I will throughout the seminar I will use also the word caste Hindus. So he found he derives to the conclusion that this is not going anywhere. Caste Hindus are not getting affected, are not considering our demands. They are not considering us as humans. And then at the in 1935 at Yeola on 13th October, he declares that look, let me quote only directly. Unfortunately, I was born a Hindu untouchable, but I will not die as a Hindu. So he first time in publicly declares at Yeola in 1935 that he will not die as a Hindu, and he it's unfortunate that he born as an untouchable Hindu. So that's in 1935. In 1936 January, in the district of Pune, Maharashtra, he gives a lecture. He gives a speech where he says that look, I have declared that I will definitely convert. I also advocate for collective conversion. He says he deliberately says, he explicitly says that look, do not convert individually. If you convert individually, it will be very difficult for you to navigate. Society will target you. Where you are living in the ghetto, you will be get targeted. In the villages, you will be get targeted because you individually converted, right? So everyone will not accept you as converted person. So he says, look, I have declared that I will not die a Hindu. I will convert, but wait, we should convert collectively. So that in 35 in Pune, sorry, 36 in Pune district, he says that there should be a collective conversion and not a individual conversion, because that will not benefit that person. So that's what he said. And this famous speech in Marathi, it is called Mukti Kon Pathe. In English, it is translated as What Way Salvation. It is also translated by famous philosopher Eleanor Zillet, and you will be easily available on internet. What Way Salvation. In that, this is a famous speech Dr. Ambedkar addressing scheduled untouchables. One also has to look that Dr. Ambedkar is addressing untouchables and advocating for collective conversion of the community. And he gives why it is important and how the Hindu religion is based on inequality. There are varna system, caste system, and this is not going to help no matter how much you will try to make them realize, make them understand. They are not going to understand. Their religion is coming in their way. Their religion is faulty. Their religion is based on inequality. That's what he says in 1936, and says that look, we all should convert. That's what he says. And at the finally in 1956, with as I in the beginning said, he converts with his follower in the Diksha Bhumi Nagpur on 1956 to the Buddhism, right? He also gives 22 vows. Everyone should read that 22 vows and understand that he tried to make distinction between the propaganda of Sanatani forces that Buddha was the 10th avatar of Vishnu and all that bullshit. Dr. Ambedkar explicitly makes 22 vows and gets them recited by his followers, 5-6 lakhs followers, that they will not follow Hinduism and they will not worship Hindu deities. So all these 22 vows he gives, and that 22 vow is now essential to make a distinction between what is Buddhism and what is Hinduism. Those 22 vows act like a strong wall which do not percolate, which do not allow to percolate Sanatani or Hinduized or Brahminical philosophy into Buddhism. Yeah. Okay, I will move ahead now to little history of a community from 1956 till date. I will try to see what are the changes that this community has faced and what is the impact of mass conversion on them and on the whole society. So I come across one article by Business Standard. It's old one, 2017, which reads as scheduled converted Buddhists enjoy better literacy and gender equality. So it's based on census 2011, and it says that converted Buddhists amongst scheduled caste enjoy better literacy and gender equality. So I will say that profound characteristics of this converted Buddhist community, if I have to primarily indicate and primarily explicitly mention here, is that this community is very politically aware and assertive. You will find no other community as politically aware and as politically assertive as Ambedkarite Buddhist in Maharashtra. Uh, no matter what instances of injustices or the weakening of reservation policy or the weakening of SCST atrocity or act, what whenever state acts against the lower marginalized caste people, scheduled caste community, a converted Buddhist community will be the first to respond, to hit the roads and protest and demand state accountability, and in many instances change their decision. For example, if I can give a basic example, that uh, there was a Mahajan case in Supreme Court in I think 2018, where Supreme Court has diluted scheduled caste scheduled tribe Prevention of Atrocity Act. Uh, 2 days after that, the whole Maharashtra uh, declared ban. This community declared ban. It was all even pan India. Many organization, many communities made that Bharat Band happen, and we know eventually the Parliament has to pass an amendment and reinstate all the changes that Supreme Court has proposed to dilute the scheduled caste scheduled tribe atrocity act. There are several. Take any atrocity cases, and you will find that this community has hit the road and protested and demanded accountability from the state and the oppressors. The next thing is that uh, this community, we have to also see that Baba Sahib converted and died in 2 months. So this community whole, this newly converted 6 lakh, 5 lakhs people, and then eventually conversion movement gradually spread across Maharashtra. Uh, they have uh, they have to uh, prepare, create, and come with their own culture, right? Philosophically, we could not go back to the rituals of Hindu religion, right? We could not perform a marriage ceremony with the by inviting Brahmin, right? So we then have to build our own culture. So you will see that this community has totally thrown the Hindu rituals and festivals. This community has developed its own culture. You will find Buddhist marriages happening in Maharashtra. You will find lullabies are created, and that leads to the uh, uh, importance of a Bhim Gite, Bhim Buddha Gite, right? In English, it translates as the songs of a Baba Sahib and songs of a Buddha, right? So in Maharashtra, songs of a Baba Sahib and songs of a Buddha, uh, Mahakavi Vaman Dada Kartak is one of pioneers in that. Prahlad Shinde, Milind Shinde, Anand Shinde, and there were several local singers, local poets who created songs and lullaby, who created rituals, who evolved culture of Ambedkarite Buddhist. Brahmins were not allowed. In every ceremony, Bhim Buddha Gite is on the speaker, right? So, and this Bhim, what this Bhim Buddha Gite has done is that first thing they have uh, simplified the philosophy of a Baba Sahib. That whatever Baba Sahib stood for, whatever Buddha stood for, whatever Kabir, you will find Marathi songs of a Kabir in Maharashtra, Phule, Savitri Bai. So first thing that this Bhim Gita did is they simplified the philosophy of these anti-caste icons and translated it and simplified in Marathi, made into the songs and popularized. Uh, they countered Brahminical philosophy and spread the Dhamma, spread the message of a Buddha, and also made aware like why are we where we are. We were untouchables. We were denied all the access to public space, access to education, access to all kind of a dignified life, and we were that we converted. Now we are Buddhist Ambedkarite, and this kind of a messaging was simplified and with a philosophy. You will uh, for example, the first poem that I translated, you will find that philosophical messages of temple entry movement being translated in a very basic Marathi language and spread across the Maharashtra, right? So that's the huge contribution of Bhim Buddha Gita, the songs of Baba Sahib and the songs of Buddha did impact on community. So the culture, this community has to evolve its own culture that will not have uh, caste connotation, that will not have a Sanatani or a Brahminical connotations to its philosophy. It should be egalitarian, and that kind of culture was propagated through this kind of a folk uh, uh, and simplified Marathi. You will also find the emphasis of education everywhere. Emphasis of education through songs, emphasis of education through parents. You will find that no matter what, the family will be living in poverty, but the parents of a child will be like, you must educate yourself, you must go to school. We will take whatever hardship we will have to take. The either father or either mother, one of these two will be there to say that we will take any hardship, but you study, you go and study and get education. That kind of awareness for the education and a profound importance given to the education you will find in this community, uh, and that then reflects into the uh, uh, given away of a caste occupation. This converted community, the caste occupation was very filthy and very inhuman. This converted community gradually given away its caste occupation. Now many of scheduled caste first learners, second learners are in government services, have enjoyed government services and retired. Some are in some are taking higher educations in foreign universities. Some are now collectors, some are now tehsildars and deputy collector and whatnot, right? So this kind of a economic and educational upliftment or movement you see in this community because of conversion and because of that undercurrent philosophical messaging of Baba Sahib's philosophy to study and to dress well and to all that kind, to oppose Brahminism and not fall for a caste system, and resist and assert. That kind of a messaging was given through this cultural connotations, cultural evolution. Running references I can give that this community also created its own public spaces like Buddha Viharas, like we have a Diksha Bhumi, now we have a Chaitya Bhumi. These are the places to visit, these are the places for us to to pay homage to our ideas. Fulewada, Bhima Koregaon. Bhima Koregaon was not very known in Antika circle. But the more community read about it, now it is a public space now. And you can understand the power of this community. We will not have any Ambedkarite Buddhist MP, MLA, or a CM or a deputy CM, right? But the Sanatani forces, the Hindu nationalist, take example Fadnavis or take example Modi, will come to Diksha Bhumi and pay their homage to Baba Sahib and Buddha, right? They are a contradictory ideology, but they know that the power of this community is so strong that they cannot tolerate to go against. They cannot afford to go against this community's sentiments. So for tokenism, they come and pay homage in Diksha Bhumi every Vijayadashmi. Oh, this is my first part. Now I will move to the second part of the okay 6:38. I will maybe I will take maybe 15 or 20 minutes more. My second part I will start now. I have given the name. It's called as problematizing the present. So I will now look to the present scenario, present situation of this converted Buddhist, and also I will try to make a comment or make a observation on the overall situation of a Dalits in India. Let me start by first saying that in Indian Constitution, uh, uh, the father of the Indian Constitution was Baba Sahib. So many thanks goes to him directly. In Indian Constitution, we will see that the acknowledgement of historical injustice to this community. Scheduled tribes and scheduled castes were acknowledged that look, these communities are historically oppressed. That is the first and strongest uh, theme that emerged from the Constitution of India. As a lawyer and as a thinker or as a member of a community, I can see that Constitution is the primary document where it is acknowledged that these communities were oppressed and they were historically they faced historical injustice. That is why you will find Article 15, 16, and all the sub clauses that the reservation special safeguards and benefits were given to this special scheduled caste and scheduled tribe communities. So the first thing is acknowledgement of historical injustices, right? Now let's come to the policy of a reservation in the present. Policy of reservation in the present, if you see, looks like the historical acknowledgement of historical injustices is being diluted. The reservation policy is being diluted. Uh, the proper and mainstream example I can give to prove this point is that the creation of a economically weaker section category under the reservation policy. This AWS reservation policy goes against the constitutional morality, goes against the acknowledgement of historical injustice done to the SC/ST community. What it does is gives special privilege and the special reserve vacancy reserve seats to the historically oppressor communities. Uh, there is a Supreme Court advocate Disha Wadekar. I have heard her speaking on the Caravan platform, where she was saying that it's like we have patriarchy, so we given reservation to women because women are oppressed in the society, so they could not get the equal opportunity and the equal standing for getting availing that opportunity. So we gave women reservation. What this economical weaker section category reservation looks like? What if we also give reservation to the men? So if we give reservation to men, then what is the use of giving reservation to women? It's like nullifying what we have done to rectify your past. It is like nullifying or denying what we have acknowledged as historical injustice. So, this current reservation policy is now diluted with the help of implementing EWS reservation, which does not hold constitutional morality, and it has now been upheld by the apex court of the our country. So that's a worrying thing. That's a problem. The next thing is that whatever the oppressor communities and the uh, dominant communities, or we can say population wise uh, bigger communities, for example Maratha, for example I will not go outside Maharashtra, for example Maratha in Maharashtra or Dhangar in Maharashtra, they are now asking for reservation. uh, Maratha community and Dhangar community asking for reservation under scheduled tribe. Maratha community asking reservation. Some are asking reservation in OBC. Some are asking reservation. Create a new category for Maratha. So this Maratha community is a dominant community in Maharashtra, historically oppressor community. If I quote, there is one strong report by Sukhdev Thorat, where he has uh, revealed the figures. Let me read the heading of his paper, his lecture. Sukhdev Thorat's lecture. I am reading. Why untouchability, caste discrimination, and atrocities still persist despite law. Reflections on caste for persistence and solutions by Sukhdev Thorat. The PDF is of and the lecture is of 2017, where Dr. Sukhdev Thorat have showed the data of Bid district in Maharashtra, where the primary oppressor is the Maratha caste. This is the data. This is the data given by the government department of IDC and quoted by Professor Sukhdev Thorat. Marathas are the primary oppressor. Now Marathas are asking for reservation. Maharashtra government, because it's of course Hindu nationalist forces are in power and have been in power for quite long, uh, gave the reservation to Maratha, made a committee, made a desired report, and gave the reservation to Maratha. The matter went to Supreme Court. Supreme Court struck down the validity of a Maratha reservation, right? So the matter should be ended there. But now new forces, now new political demands for Maratha reservation have occurred and surfaced on the Maharashtrian political sphere, right? And latest update is that Maharashtrian CM himself, a Maratha, Shinde, has agreed that he will, no matter what, will provide a reservation for Maratha. The question here comes that what is the use of providing reservation to a dominant caste like a Maratha who has been a historically oppressor, right? Does it not go against constitutional morality? Does it not go against the historical acknowledgement of injustice done to this community? So this is the question. The another question comes with the respect to reservation policy is that no matter if there is a reservation policy, the amount of a privatization done by this new liberal political regime, nationalized Hindu political regime, is tremendous. Privatization is on the rise. They give contracts to private companies, mostly their relatives and all, whose companies they know. They give those community companies contract, and the contract making and privatization is on the rise. So you will not find very much government jobs opening in the recent maybe 10-15 years. We have stopped seeing government vacancies. Only government is interested in filling the vacancies of deputy collector, DM, CM, the upper class 1 officers, as we say, the class 1 bureaucrats, right? Apart from that, they are only filling contractual employees and doing privatization of hospital and doing privatization of school education system and whatnot. So these are the private spaces. What will be the use of reservation policy in these private spaces? One has to question. So what is the use of this reservation policy now? Does it not getting diluted day after day, right? This is the one critique. This is the one problem I address. The second problem I want to address is the manner in which scheduled caste is especially converted Buddhist is getting reservation. If a scheduled caste person who has converted to Buddhism has to have a reservation, he or she or that person will have to produce caste certificate. And if that person gets a job appointment in government, they on the reserved category, then that person also has to produce caste certificate along with caste validity. This caste certificate and caste validity is issued by the government authorities, right? So, and what is this caste certificate I am mentioning? I am, for example, my take example of I'm a Ambedkarite Buddhist. My ancestor, me, and my family, my father has converted to Buddhism. I have left Hinduism. That directly means I have left my caste, my untouchable caste. I have left my ex caste, which was untouchable according to Hindu Shastras, right? I have left that. Now I am a Buddhist person. Principally, theologically, Buddhism does not have caste. But if I and I'm a scheduled caste person, right? I'm historically untouchable community person. If I have to take reservation, I will have to produce caste certificate. And what that caste certificate will have, that caste certificate will have, and that caste certificate will certify that I'm a person who belongs to my ex untouchable caste, which is prescribed by the Hindu religion, right? So I will have to produce my ex caste. Unless and until I do not produce my caste certificate, I will not get reservation. The dilemma here, if you can see, is that I'm a Buddhist, I do not have a caste. I do not practice caste. I do not want to fit into caste. I do not want to fit into Hindu religion. I am not a Hindu. I am a Buddhist. But if I have to take safeguards and constitutional benefits and a reservation policy and benefit of a reservation policy, I will have to I will be forced by the state to reveal my caste. And I think that goes against my autonomy as a individual and Article 25 of the freedom of religion. And it also goes against the principle of my Buddhism, that how can I have a caste? So that is the dilemma. Whether should I give away my constitutional benefits and rights, or should I stick to my constitutional benefits right and produce my untouchable caste? That's the dilemma here. Same goes with the caste census, general census, right? If you see the household survey format of the 2011 caste, sorry, 2011's general census, right? Population census. Uh, Column 7 and column 8 asks you what is your religion, and if you say you are a Hindu or you are a Buddhist or you are a Sikh, then question 8 asks you what is your caste. Yeah, the question asks, are you member of a SC or ST category? If a person has to take benefit, or if a person has to produce a population pan India, that look, these are our population. If one person tries to say that I am a scheduled caste, then that person will have to, in the next question, reveal his or her caste or their caste, right? So in census also, in general, I'm not talking about caste census, and I'm talking about general census, which happens every 10 years, right? So if you check survey format, household survey format for 2011 census, you will find that uh, there is a question asked, religion and then caste. If I say I'm a Buddhist, and then that person will ask, then are you a member of a scheduled caste? Then I have a dilemma, same dilemma here. Should I say yes or should I say no? If I say yes, I will get benefits, but I will have to reveal my caste. If I say no, I'm not a scheduled caste, I will lose my constitutional guarantees, constitutional safeguards, constitutional reservation policy benefit. but I will hold myself as a Buddhist who has no caste, right? So this dilemma, and it still persists. In center, you cannot till 1992 you cannot avail a reservation of a scheduled caste under a Buddhist. That happened. That amendment happened in 1992. Let me again say that this is not about saying that Buddhists do not get reservation. I am saying Buddhists gets the reservation, but at the cost of revealing their own ex untouchable identity. So that's the point. That is a concern. I should be acknowledged by the state that I am a Buddhist and I do not have a caste, and still I should get the reservation. That's what I'm basically saying. Right. Then I will move to the next question of anti-conversion law and its critique. Uh, uh, as of now, 8 states have passed anti-conversion laws. So, state want you to declare why you are converting, and their justification is that there are people who give monetary benefits and whatnot, and then tries to convert people from Hinduism, right? Problem is that these anti-conversion laws are hindrance in the Ambedkarite philosophy and spread of Buddhism across India. These anti-conversion laws is mechanism of a state to prevent Hindu majority and not let the lower caste go away from the Hinduism. So this is the state's calculated policy by implementing anti-conversion laws to prevent lower caste from getting converted to other religions. This is directly goes against Constitution Article 25 and individual autonomy, privacy, and all that 19 and 21 section of the Constitution. But that's what this Hindu nationalist, at least as of now, and this is not a new conversion laws are not new. The first conversion bill was placed in parliament in when Baba Sahib was alive in 1956 54. It was not passed. Then after, I think in 60s it was again placed, not passed. So say, twice or thrice in parliament it was placed, it was not passed. 8 states as of now have anti-conversion laws where a person has to reveal its intention in advance at least 60 or 80 days, but depends on state to state, give advance notice of your conversion. So that is also a hindrance. I think this is a hindrance in uh, 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 spreading Buddhism. The prior issue of a caste certificate is also a hindrance of not letting other community embrace Buddhism, because outside Maharashtra, if you convert to Buddhism, I don't know if they provide reservation or not. So to save safeguards, to save constitutional benefits, this community has been forced to be Dalits and has been forced to be untouchable and preserve their old filthy caste identity. And le- um, so then ultimately the point comes that the reservation policy should be. Hello, sorry, am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are audible.
Okay. Let me know if I'm not audible, because I have joined from portable hotspot.
You are audible. You are audible.
Okay. So the next point, my next point is that uh, the reservation policy should be made religious neutral, primarily because concept of keeping reservation policy only to Hindu, only to Buddhist, and only to Sikh does not hold any logic. This is only states propaganda and only states logic of preventing other scheduled caste or other lower caste from not getting converted into other religions. They know that the damage has been happened in 1956, and the Buddhists are now separate and they are not a Hindu. So they don't want anything like that in Christianity and Islam. So they oppose inclusion of a Dalit Muslim and Dalit Christian into scheduled caste. But I think that does not hold any ground. The scheduled caste list and the benefits should be religious neutral, and so I support inclusion of a Dalit Muslim and Dalit Christian to the benefit of a reservation and constitutional safeguard. So it should be met. Let me give one Baba Sahib's reference to this. So the year is 1936. Baba Sahib is speaking in Pune district, and it is a conference held by and organized by young youth of Pune. One person from Madras comes to attend this meeting and this gathering, and I will try to give name of his that person. That person comes from Madras only to attend Baba Sahib's speech, and he's made president of that meeting. So let me share one statement of a Baba Sahib on this line of making reservation policy religious neutral. So Baba Sahib in that speech touches various aspects of conversion and collective. He goes on to say that one should not individually convert. We should only convert when we are in collective, right? So collective conversion has to happen, otherwise it will not be beneficial. He also goes on to say that it will not be easy that you convert today and you will get all rights and everything and respect and dignity the next day. He says no matter in which religion you go, you will have to face struggle. You will not be given rights so easily. You will have to struggle a lot to get the benefits. uh, let Wait a minute. Okay, sorry, I think my internet connection.
Hello all. I think it seems Prashant is facing some network issues. Just wait for 2 minutes while he's reconnecting.
Hello.
Yes, Prashant, you're audible. Please go
Okay,
ahead.
okay, okay. Sorry. Sorry, I'm carrying portable hotspot here, so sorry for this inconvenience.
No
Uh,
problem.
I was speaking on and giving the account of Dr. Ambedkar's one speech, and this statement is I'm backing for the making constitutional benefits religious neutral. So this is year 1936. Baba Sahib speaking in Pune meeting, district Pune, Maharashtra, and he is touching on the issues of conversion. Here he says one should not individually convert. Collective decision has to be taken, and we should collectively embrace whatever religion we find fit, and everyone should come with their consciousness and with their awareness, and no one should just follow for everyone is doing, so let me do. So all that touching. And he also says that look, if we convert today, we will not get our all the benefit, dignity and respect the next day. We will, no matter where you go, in which religion you go, you will have to struggle to get your benefits. So in that context he says, for example, if we convert, let me quote only direct. let me not paraphrase it. I'm quoting Baba Sahib. Tomorrow, if we convert to Islam or Christianity and they ask us to go to separate church, then we will burn that church down. I will repeat. Tomorrow, if we convert to Christianity or Islam and they ask us to go to a separate church, then we will burn that church down. So this kind of a philosophical egalitarian equality upholding attitude Baba Sahib bringing to this movement of conversion. He is very adamant that no matter where we go, we has to get dignity and equal rights and uh, citizenship as like in anyone else, right? So this is for making religious neutral constitutional safeguards, and it is you can see that the pattern is Brahminical state against acting against communities Buddhism, right? Buddhism as a philosophy uh, has been spread across pan India for several years back, but uh, counter revolution happened. Brahminical forces took over all the powerful positions and made this community into untouchable community. Many thinkers and many scholars agree that the existing untouchable community or the scheduled caste community was no other than the Buddhist community of original Buddhist community of this country. Let me come to. I will wrap it up in 10 minutes max. Sorry for this, but I'm trying to cover as much points. This is important point, and I'm trying to critique Bahujan philosophy here. If we see political philosophy of today's India and recent a few decades, if we see the philosophy which is taking Baba Sahib's name and trying to project itself as Ambedkarite is the political philosophy of a Bahujan. You will see Sahib Kanshiram established Bahujan Samaj Party, right? And after that, Bahujan as a philosophy, political philosophy, as a social identity, he tried to spread and channel it to get power. Yesterday, I was scrolling Instagram and I saw Dr. Suraj Engde speaking in Marathi in some program on Dias. He is like, you should learn from Sahib Kanshram that how he propagate, how he forced an emphasis on give an emphasis on capturing political power, right? But let me try to analyze this Bahujan philosophy critically. Bahujan literally means many or mass.
Mass.
Sorry,
Sorry,
someone.
someone.
Tarun,
Tarun,
please
please
mute.
mute.
Okay, thank you, thank you. So the Bahujan literally means many, mass, or majority people, right? And Buddha used it Bahujana Hitai, Bahujana Sukhai. Uh, in my opinion, Buddha used it as uh, numerical sense and not a philosophical sense. Uh, my direct saying is that Bahujan philosophy is not anti-caste. It only works to aggregate caste. It says that if you are a OBC, come into Bahujan fold. If you are SC, come into Bahujan fold. If you are ST, come into Bahujan fold. If you are a minority, come into Bahujan fold. But if that OBC person is going to Bahujan fold, is he living his own caste identity? Is my question. My question is that in this so-called Bahujan unity, in this so-called 85% mass of India is a Bahujan, the phrase. My question is that is this 85% a casteless population? The answer is this 85% Bahujan who are whoever calling himself or herself or trying to propagate that this is Bahujan or this is a Bahujan philosophy. My analysis is that they carry caste identity, and caste identity is just traveling with the Bahujan and going nowhere. So this is not an annihilation of local Ambedkarite scholar here, Ramesh Jivne sir. I will I would like to take his name. He said that this Bahujan philosophy is just an aggregation of a caste, collection of a caste, and not a annihilation, and not annihilation of caste. It does not advocate for annihilation of caste, but it only says, look, upper caste or Brahmin or whoever who is not a Bahujan, we have to win over them. We have to capture a power. Take an example of Uttar Pradesh. Uttar Pradesh has seen 4 times political power, rise of political power in the state, in the power, right? Government. 4 times Maya Bhan Mayawati became CM. But what is happening now? A little bit of a wave of a Hindu nationalist for like a Modi or Shah comes, and she could not win a one seat. My analysis is that Bahujan philosophy has not done work in annihilating caste. It has comfortably nurtured the caste feelings, caste consciousness, right? So as a collectivity, as a community, they have not challenged the system of a caste. They only said that, look, we have to make 85% no matter what. But this 85% is not a community. Let me ask a direct question. Can we say that in a Bahujan community, there are intercaste marriages happening? One has to find. Are there interdining happening in Bahujan community? Why intercaste marriages are not happening in Bahujan community? If you are saying Bahujan, why haven't you loosened your caste consciousness yet? Why there are no attempts to marry intercaste? Why there are no intercaste? So this directly means that people are collected, but they are caste conscious. They are separated. So, so this is not. Is there a fraternity in Bahujan community? That's my question. That is a critical question. Everyone has to answer. Everyone has to think. Uh, and same goes. I will come to Maharashtra. Same goes with Prakash Ambedkar and his political party, Vanchit Bahujan Aghadi. This is also political party trying to replicate the same Bahujan philosophy of a Kanshiram Sahib. But I will say that Bahujan philosophy of a Vanchit Bahujan Aghadi, Prakash Ambedkar is also trying to do the same. That if you are OBC, SC, ST, come to our fold, we are 85%. But this 85% is turning nowhere. You are not winning elections. You do not have fraternity. You don't intermarry. You don't do interdining, right? Prakash Ambedkar has supported the demand for Maratha reservation. Prakash Ambedkar has, with respect, has gone to Ganesh festival, has attended a Kavadi Yatra. My question is that if today Dr. Ambedkar uh, had been there, what he would have said? Are we because Buddhism and Brahmanism are antagonistic? How can you go to a Kavadi Yatra as a leader of a Ambedkarite Buddhist community? And this Bahujan, what kind of a Bahujan community we have, where we do not have a fraternity, do not intermarry, do not have interdining. Everyone is protecting. Oh, I am a Lohar. Oh, I am a this and that, and caste identities are not getting erased. So, is it not right to say that Bahujan philosophy, no matter, one can say that it is not, it is different from Brahmanism, but it does not directly make you anti-caste. One has to question. I will go on to say that we also have to look the word Savarna. Savarna word, which means that the literal meaning of Savarna word is a person who have Varna, right? So there are 4 Varnas in traditional Hindu philosophy, Sanatan philosophy, Brahminical philosophy, Brahman, Vaishya, Kshatriya, Shudra. So these are the 4 Varnas, and whoever falls outside this 4 Varna system, to explicitly mention uh, untouchables and scheduled tribes, Adivasi community, they do not fall into this 4 Varna system. So these are Avarnas, and whoever falls into Brahman, Banya, Vaishya, Shudra are Savarna. In Bahujan ideology, in Bahujan philosophy, we see continuous hammering of a word Savarna. Savarna did this. Savarna has it is something something. Everywhere is Savarna word is getting used. One also has to question that in Bahujan, your ideal definition of a Bahujan, the word the OBC communities are Savarna communities, right? And OBC communities are in majority. If only if we take into account of 85% mass that you are talking about, your 85% mass also has Savarna people, right? So what is this Savarna thing we try to do bashing, right? So this Savarna terminology is very problematic. It also finds in Bahujan, um, those who are say that I am a Bahujan, uh, will also have to see if that person is a Savarna or what, whatever it is. That's the and the final critique of my is comes to political reservation. Political reservation, no one is demanding. Community is not demanding political reservation, but decade after decade, we see that political reservation getting renewed, right? And if one has to check who is this political benefiting, right? You find the history of Maharashtra after conversion, you will not find a single deputy CM, home minister, cabinet minister, right, who is a openly advocate of Ambedkarite philosophy, Buddhist philosophy, and Ambedkarite Buddhist himself, right? I will make an exception of Ramdas Atavale, and there is too much gray area. I don't want to go there. But apart from Ramdas Atale and some few others, we don't have any elected leader who is Ambedkarite Buddhist and standing for its community. Let me let me simplify this. Let's take example of one reserved constituency. Whenever there is a reserved constituency for scheduled caste, if a scheduled caste person who is Ambedkarite Buddhist stands for the election, right? Every party, every other community, and every other political ideology works against that person and makes sure that the elected person must be Brahminical person, the person who follows Hinduized ideology, or the person who is scheduled caste but not converted, scheduled caste but not Ambedkarite, scheduled caste but not converted Buddhist. So these kind of uh, people are getting elected, or we can see that leaders who are not standing for community are getting elected and are getting posts in center and state. So I will primarily say, I will make it blatant and say that converted Buddhist community do not have political representation in the parliament and the legislative assemblies. Yeah, I will move ahead and to my final part of the presentation, part three of this is a part third, and it is not very critical. It's on the final notes, and it's uh, kind of a happy ending type of topics. Uh, Let me quote Baba Sahib for this final part. And this final part I have named is as Imagining Prabuddha Bharat. So I am quoting Baba Sahib from the Writings and Speeches volume published by Government of Maharashtra, volume number 17, part 3. And I am quoting Baba Sahib. Positively, my social philosophy may be said to be enshrined in three words: liberty, equality, and fraternity. Let no one, however, say that I have borrowed my philosophy from French Revolution. I have not. My philosophy has roots in religion and not in political science. I have derived them from teachings of my master, the Buddha. In my philosophy, liberty and equality had a place. But, in his philosophy, liberty and equality had a place. But he added that unlimited liberty destroyed equality, and absolute equality left no room for liberty. In his philosophy, law had a place only as a safeguard against the breaches of liberty and equality. But he did not believe that law can be guaranteed for breaches of liberty and equality. He gave the highest place to the fraternity as the only real safeguard against the denial of liberty and equality and fraternity, which was another name for brotherhood or humanity, which was another name for the religion. So Baba Sahib is saying that he believes in liberty, equality, fraternity. That's his philosophy, and he derived it from his master, Lord Buddha. So I will touch that again and say that at least in the near future, what one must can try to do is that minimize or remove the differences that are present in OBC communities, that are present in scheduled caste communities. The caste communities in the scheduled caste, the list, the other, it's a bunch of caste, right? Clubbed in the scheduled caste. We should remove the differences between uh, scheduled caste. The caste consciousness should be left, should be minimized. Intercaste marriages should be encouraged. Intercaste marriage should be promoted and celebrated in the community. Intercaste marriages from the OBC, from the scheduled caste, we do much of a critique of upper caste. But at least if you're saying that we are the 85% of a people, then we also have a responsibility, major responsibility, at least to start intercaste marriages in our own OBC, SC, ST communities. So intercaste marriages should be prioritized. Fraternity must be developed in amongst caste, right? As of now, we see that only those caste hit road and do protest when the person of their community gets hurt. No one other tries to come. So that has to be challenged. That has to be minimized. Every community should stand in solidarity and struggle against the oppression. Caste certificate, the issue I mentioned, caste certificate. I think the caste certificates are outdated now. Caste certificates has to evolve into something that will say that look, this person is belongs to untouchable ex untouchable community or the tribe community or something. But the identity of a caste should not be there. I think the identity name of a caste, right? The individuality of a caste should be given away, should be lost, should be reduced. And that's why it is important that uh, as a speaking primarily on Ambedkarite Buddhist, I should get reservation as a Buddhist, Ambedkarite Buddhist, and I should not be forced to reveal my ex caste. Government should apart from acknowledgement in constitution, we don't see government policy in annihilation of caste. Government only nurtures caste, individual caste, but there is no policy for annihilation of a caste. There can be annihilation of caste policy from the government, but we don't see that much. Mm, on the point of acknowledgement of historical injustice, Malcolm, I would like to remember Malcolm X uh, one of his speech. He says that look, what you will call progress, if you stab me with a 9-inch knife in my back and take out 3 inches knife from my back, and you will say, will you say that progress? The progress will only start when you remove that knife and apply some cream to heal that wound. The healing of a wound will start as progress. That we can say that progress. In Indian context, sadly, I can say that after 68 years of conversion and I don't say 75 years of independence, the acknowledgement of historical injustice is not absolute. That's why we see day in day out communities getting a caste atrocity victim and has to face caste atrocity. So that caste atrocity has to be reduced. Caste atrocity that will only happen once the fraternity will come. That fraternity will not come through nurturing individual caste consciousness. That's what I'm saying, that Bahujan policy is falling short in annihilation of caste, in not challenging the caste individual consciousness. That has to be happen. Last two points. First point is constitutional benefits should be made religious neutral. Muslims and Christian Dalits should be included and should be extended the constitutional safeguards and reservation policy. That does not, and anti-conversion laws should be discarded. Recently, one international report has commission has said that these anti-conversion laws are against human rights. These are going against human rights. So one has to fight for that also. And I will conclude my talk by saying Bahujan philosophy, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, is not. It is different from Brahminism. It is different from the established Sanatani political philosophy, but it is not anti-caste. Bahujan philosophy is just a agglomeration and addition of a caste, and nurtures every caste identity. There is no program as of now for annihilation of caste, and it is falling short, and that's why we see political decline of a Bahujan Samaj Party, and VBA is also will face the same consequences if they do not improve on and work on and something on annihilation of a caste, and not just collecting and supporting Maratha reservation and nurturing individual caste consciousness. Finally, I will say I think we should finally revisit Dr. Ambedkar's political philosophy and where he is driving from. Right after Scheduled Caste Foundation Federation, he dissolved Scheduled Caste Federation after the conversion. After the independence, he established Republican Party of India. We should, and all these leaders should visit the preamble of Republican Party of India and try to find something which can be anti-caste, which can promote fraternity, and remove the injustices, and will bring happiness too. I will end by saying, quoting Baba Sahib from the What Path Salvation. He says that conversion will bring happiness to both the untouchables and caste Hindus, and that's why he embraced Buddhism. Thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Okay, thank you very much, Prashant, for very such informative and provocative talk and discussion. Now I would like to open the floor for the questions. Those who would like to ask any questions, please raise your hands, and we will take the questions which Prashant will answer. Someone has. Please feel free to ask any questions, any doubts, or any comment you have, any critique you have. This space is we have made that for only that. In Bangalore cities like a Bangalore, there is no such spaces that we talk about much more about anti-caste. So please feel your any thought, any critique, if you are agree or disagree with Prashant, uh, or any question do you have for Prashant. There is one Prashant Surbhi Nayak is asking, where can we read, understand more about this critique of Bahujan philosophy? If you would like to drop any uh,
Okay.
resources in the chat, so maybe he can read it.
This critique of a Bahujan is not my original, if I can say. I started to I started to cross check and analyze it, and more I started to agree to that. This critique is very much present in Maharashtra, if I can say. There are many. Rahul Sonpimple uses the word organic intellectual or day-to-day intellectual, right? So those people who are around us, who are doing farm or going to office or doing all that, sitting in a shop, but they have the deep understanding of a political ideology. So many people we find here that have that kind of understanding and have seen through various years and their experience that how political parties. So the direct answer is I have written with my friend. Sunny OK or an article on it. It is available on the News Minute as well as on the Wire. And the title of the article is "Revisiting the Wrongs of Bahujan Politics." Is the title of my article. Revisiting the Wrongs of Bahujan Politics. It is available on the Wire and on the News Minute website. Apart from that, this critique is very much present in local and I would like to again mention the name of Ramesh June, who lives in my hometown and has written extensively and discussed extensively the critique of Bahujan philosophy in his work. And but that work is in Marathi, so that's the limitation. Anyone who has access and who has understanding of Marathi can then we can I can share some of his work and at least maybe YouTube videos and his lectures and all that.
Okay, there is one comment by Chandragupta. He's saying if Buddhism is already given minority reservation, then why should the state be extra butter for those SC/STs who have considered themselves? Don't the SC and STs want double the benefits of the reservation system?
That is true that Buddhism as a religion is included in scheduled caste, but my problem is that if I have to access that avail that reservation, I will have to inevitably produce my caste certificate. My problem comes with the caste certificate. The moment as a state you come in front of me and ask me produce your caste certificate, then only I will give you reservation. That's my problem. I don't want to reveal my caste. I don't have a caste. I'm a Buddhist now. And practically, theologically, Buddhism do not have caste. So why I am still trapped in the system of caste? That's my there should be it's matter to those who sit in parliament and sociologists and researchers to find the way to meet my demand. My demand is simple. I am a Buddhist. I don't have caste, and still I want benefits. Still I want, because my ancestor and I come from a untouchable community, so I should be given constitution benefits. But I should be given constitutional benefits, but I should not be asked my caste, because that goes against the my autonomy of freedom of a religion. Buddhism do not have caste.
Okay, cool. Any one of you have any questions? Please feel free to ask to Prashant. It's almost 7:30, so any last minute questions?
Yeah, if Buddhists are sorry. Okay. Yeah, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Hi Prashant. Hi.
Hi,
Sorry,
hi.
actually, I was confused. Should I speak because I have not. I came in late and
Okay,
I was
okay.
just hearing the critique of Bahujan philosophy that you're talking about, and it's very interesting what you're saying. And it's actually I was also thinking, that just to think about it, right? That for instance, in Bengal, just to give an example,
Mhm.
for instance, in Bengal, the Nomo community, there is a sense of sometimes this in history, the Nomo leaders and how the Nomo movement has gone out. There is sometimes have been a lack of, say, that anti-caste, direct anti-caste philosophy, which Baba Saheb and the Buddhism has sort of talked about or asserted with a force which never has happened, right? So the Nomo community has this narrations at times that we were actually upper castes or castes of some castes, and then something happened, and some historical injustice happened, and we were then degraded as a caste. So in their reassertion, while their philosophy is equilateral, there is a lot of equality in that philosophy, there is a lot of gender equality, a lot of caste equality in that philosophy, but still that the point that you are making, right, that being completely sort of anti the structure of caste, coming out
Right,
of it, that is
right,
absent, right?
right.
But then like we do like my question then is like, what is the scope of bending these movements which was, say, quote unquote, not completely anti-caste, but they do have a lot of resonance with what the, say, the basic idea of society which can be.
Right,
So there is at least a conversation ka chance, that
right,
there is a
right.
hope for a conversation. So do you like, what do you, if you could
Yeah, yeah.
comment on?
I agree with you, and how you put it across. Uh, that's what happened. India is very complexly structured socially, right? So any egalitarian philosophy tries to emerge. This established Brahmin philosophy seeks into it, seeps into it, makes way into it, and dilutes that. For example, the movement started by Basavanna, for example, the Lingayas, right? If we take their philosophy, theological philosophy as a foundation, they are very egalitarian and promoter and advocate of equality. But when it comes to practice, we see that Lingayas do. In my research, I can say that Lingayas do have the sense of a purity, and practice of untouchability is very frequent in their day-to-day behavior. So my understanding is that any philosophy in India, if has to be egalitarian, then it has to directly challenge Brahminism, right? It has to challenge direct Sanatan philosophy of a Hindu nationalist and Varna system and the divisive politics of social politics of this philosophy. Unless and until you cannot escape the movement of the Jain community, let's say the Jain philosophy tries to be separate and tries to be self-sufficient in its own way. But the reality is that even Jain community also will find the sense of superiority and sense of purity pollution seeps into their philosophy. My answer is that Jain philosophy did not in day-to-day life took a stand for against Brahminism. So I think Buddha, Kabir, Sikh philosophy did that in their theological way, and in real in today's India, I will say Maharashtra's Ambedkarite community I see as the flag bearer of the philosophy of egalitarian, who directly challenges Brahminism in day-to-day life, and that I don't know if I have answered your question rightly, or but I agree with your way of analysis.
Okay.
No,
Uh,
thank you.
Thank you,
yes.
thank you.
Thank you, Prashant, and thank you, Pranay, for your question. Anyone else who has any question for Prashant? Also, we can just wrap up. Okay. So, on the behalf of Ambedkar Reading Circle, I really want to thank Prashant Bhaware,
Thank you so much. Thank you so much
and
for
it was a very important and very insightful talk. I hope everyone reflected on what Prashant talks, and hope. I think Suhas. Okay, last question. Suhas, please go ahead.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Suhas.
Suhas, please go ahead.
Okay. Okay, maybe yes. Uh, Mistakenly. Okay, so continuing that, thanks for Prashant for your talk, and just for to everyone's information, this talk will be available on our YouTube channel in upcoming days. So thank you for joining, and Supreme Jai Bhim to you all.
Jai Bhim, and thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining.
Yeah.